Rayman Origins is a side-scrolling 2D platforming game developed by Ubisoft. This is my first exposure to the Rayman series, and I'd have to say I'm very much impressed. The version of the game I'm playing is the Nintendo Wii version. As I understand it, there seems to be no major differences between any of the console versions. This game is on the Wii PS3, 360, I believe is coming later to the 3DS and PlayStation Vita. So basically, if you have a contemporary gaming device, this game is accessible to you. The platforming is very solid. I never felt that any of the deaths were cheap per se, although later in the game the difficulty does ramp up considerably, and you have to go through the levels making perfectly timed, perfectly aimed jumps, which I think adds to the challenge and increases the enjoyment of the game. I was very pleased that I couldn't just breeze on through this game without really applying myself to beat it. So that was a good thing. You playing as one of 4 characters in the many unlockable palette swaps navigate through this world collecting these little yellow lums dudes. And as you unlock them, you also free these little pink dudes. Now you can unlock the little pink dudes by gathering enough of the little yellow lums, or you can find them hidden throughout the level, which encourages you to go through and explore, which requires, in a lot of instances, some really good platforming and precision jumping to get to some of these little hidden nooks and crannies to unlock the little pink dudes. After you beat a level, you can go back and play it again in time trial mode, and if you beat your previous times, you unlock another little pink dude. When you start the game, you have to follow along a preset path, tackling the 4 or 5 main worlds, and as you go, you unlock these buxom, curvaceous, super hot cartoon fairies that will grant you extra powers which enable you to reach previously inaccessible areas. And that's the first third of the game, that first phase, where you go through and you unlock the fairy ladies that give you upgraded abilities. The next part of the game, you have to have enough of the little pink dudes to get to the 4 bosses. So you're not even going to see a boss fight until you're already considerably well into the game. I'd say about 40% of the way into the game before you encounter the first boss, which is kind of cool. It was nice mixing it up, where you've got the distinct phases where you go through and you unlock the fairies and get your powers, and then you go through and you go through the more difficult areas of the game and engage in some pretty interesting boss fights. Generally, they take between 3 or 4 hits to defeat them. For the most part, none of them were real pushovers. You have to go through it a couple of times and get their patterns down, and then you'll eventually be able to get it. Then, once you've beaten the 4 bosses, the fairies will unlock the final area where you can go on to the end of the game. If you really want to complete this game, you have to collect many more of the little pink dudes. My tally, when I beat the game and watched the credits, there was 95 more of the little pink dudes that I had to unlock. And as you do that, you gain access to challenge areas. And these were some of the trickiest levels in the game for me, where you have to race a treasure chest, and once you get to the end of the level, you give it a good smack, and you open up the treasure chest, and you get one of these little red gem tooth dealies for this skull-looking dude. And once you get all 10 teeth unlocked for him, you unlock the final part of the game, and you get another world to go and do some more intense gaming. Now, I personally did not unlock the final area, but I would assume it's just as good as the rest of the game, so I can't really speak to that last leg of the game. But going through and beating it and seeing the credits roll, I had a lot of fun playing this game. I would highly recommend it. Now, one of the things I ran into playing this on the Wii, it would not let me use my GameCube controller, which I prefer to use the GameCube controller, so make note of that. I did use the Classic Controller Pro, which worked very well. One of the challenge levels, I encountered what I believe to be a glitch. I would get to the end of the level, and you're supposed to jump off of a surface, but the screen scrolls too fast and kills you. And I was playing as Rayman. And after about an hour of getting to the very end of this level and dying in the same way, I had to look up and see if there was a special trick that I was missing. And I saw a lot of people on a YouTube video saying that they have the Wii version and they ran into the same problem. No one with the PS3 version or a 360 version seems to be having this issue. So it might be a glitch that can't be patched on the Wii version. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, the game costs $50 on the Wii, but if you want to go ahead and bam it up to the PS3 or 360, you get the benefit of being able to use what I believe to be a slightly better controller. Classic Controller Pro is basically a DualShock 3, but an actual DualShock 3 or a 360 controller is better, and there's no wires. The thing about the Classic Controller Pro is it's like the Sega CD of controllers. You have to plug a better controller into the Wii controller for it to work, which is kind of cumbersome. It's got about, a 1.5 foot length of wire, so you've just got to tote around that Wiimote as your power source, and I found that to be a little bit annoying. And for the $10 upgrade, not only do you get the better controllers, you also get HD graphics, achievements, and trophies. So for the $10, I would say go ahead and get the PS3 or 360 version. But if you only have a Wii, or if you're just looking for something to play on your Wii, this is definitely a good game, and I had a lot of fun playing through it. Just keep in mind, there was that one glitch. I forget the name of the level. I think it was Pirate's Treasure. And at the very end of it, I had a glitch. I was playing as Rayman. I was reading in the YouTube comments, someone was having the exact same experience, and once they switched characters, they beat it. So I tried the same thing, and after switching characters, I beat it on the second try. I did have the glitch again the first time, but after that, it worked just fine. Overall, though, this is a top-notch platformer. I had an amazing amount of fun, and I'm going to go back and look at some of the earlier entries into the Rayman series. This has always been one of those games that I was aware of, so I'm glad I was introduced to this series. The music, the colors, the art design in this game were a lot of fun. It's very whimsical. I enjoyed the curvy fairy ladies and their speaking in what sounds to be something similar to Pig Latin. Overall, it was a very fun game. I had a lot of fun going through it on the Wii, but if you have a PS3 or 360, I would say it'd probably be a safer bet to go ahead and get one of those versions for the better controllers, the HD graphics, and the trophies and achievements. For only a difference of $10, that's the route I would go. But if you only have a Wii, this is definitely a very solid piece of software in a time where there's not many other games for it. It's pretty much between this, Skyward Sword, and that hot-looking Black Eyed Peas game.